Picture this, a warm summer evening at the county fair, where the air smells like cotton candy and fried dough, and colorful lights from the Ferris will paint the twilight sky. This is where our story begins, where two lives are about to change forever in the confined space of a vintage photo booth. The kind with peeling paint on the outside and a worn velvet curtain that never quite closes properly. Ethan arrives at the fair with a group of friends, his sketchbook tucked under his arm as always. He's the kind of person who observes life more than he participates in it, finding beauty in the mundane moments others might miss. His dark hair falls slightly over one eye, and he has a habit of pushing it back when he's nervous or deep in thought. As an artist, Ethan sees the world in textures and shadows, capturing emotions through his drawings that he struggles to express with words. Tonight, though, his friends have convinced him to leave the sketchbook behind for a few hours and simply enjoy the fair. Lucas, on the other hand, arrives like a burst of energy. Camera hanging around his neck, he's already taken dozens of photos of the sunset over the fairgrounds. Lucas has the kind of smile that makes strangers feel like old friends, and he navigates social situations with an ease Ethan has always envied. His passion for photography stems from a desire to freeze perfect moments in time, to create permanent records of fleeting happiness. What most people don't realize is that Lucas uses his camera as a shield, keeping a comfortable distance between himself and authentic vulnerability. The two have been friends for nearly a year, ever since they met at a local art exhibition where Ethan's drawings were featured and Lucas was photographing the event. Their friendship developed naturally, built on shared creative passions and late-night conversations about everything from Renaissance art to whether aliens exist. But beneath their comfortable camaraderie, something else has been growing. An unspoken tension that manifests in lingering glances and the electricity that seems to charge the air when they sit too close. Neither has acknowledged this undercurrent, this possibility that pulses between them like a second heartbeat. Both have their reasons for keeping silent. For Ethan, it's the fear of ruining a friendship he deeply values. For Lucas, it's the complicated relationship with his traditional family who still don't know the truth about who he really is. Their group of friends, Maya, the outspoken theater major, Damon, the engineering student with a surprising talent for karaoke, and Riley, whose quick wit keeps everyone laughing, weave through the carnival games and food stalls. The night is young, filled with possibilities and the particular magic that seems to exist only in spaces like this, where ordinary rules feel temporarily suspended. Hey, check it out. Maya points excitedly to a vintage photo booth nestled between a ring toss game and a cotton candy vendor. We have to get pictures. The booth stands like a relic from another era. Its metal exterior painted a faded red with "Capture the Moment" written in gold script across the top. A string of light bulbs frames the entrance, half of them burnt out, giving it a charmingly imperfect glow. I'm not really a photo person, Ethan protests weakly, but Lucas is already nudging him toward the booth. Says the guy who makes me pose for his sketches all the time. Lucas teases, his hand warm against Ethan's shoulder. Come on, it'll be fun. Consider it research for your art, capturing expressions in a different medium. The group takes turns cramming into the small booth in various combinations. Maya and Riley go first, emerging with a strip of photos showing them making increasingly ridiculous faces. Damon joins them for another round, the three of them laughing so hard at their own antics that the booth seems to shake. Ethan and Lucas, you're up, Maya announces, waving the photo strip like a flag. And no boring poses. We want drama, romance, action. She winks at them, and Ethan feels heat rise to his cheeks, wondering if his feelings for Lucas are more transparent than he thought. Should we? Lucas asks, turning to Ethan with that smile, the one that makes Ethan's artistic fingers itch to capture it on paper. I guess someone needs to show them how it's done, Ethan replies, surprising himself with his boldness. The photo booth is smaller than it appeared from outside. When they slide onto the narrow bench, their shoulders press together, thighs touching in the confined space. The curtain doesn't fully close, leaving a sliver of the carnival visible, but somehow this makes the booth feel more intimate rather than less. A space that exists half in the public world and half in a universe that belongs only to them. Inside, the booth is a collage of memories. Previous fairgoers have left their mark, initials carved into the walls, stickers placed haphazardly, even a lipstick kiss pressed to one corner. A small basket of props sits on a shelf. Oversized sunglasses, a feather boa, a plastic crown, and a sign that reads "Kiss Me" in bold letters. The irony of this last prop isn't lost on either of them. Want to use any of these? Lucas asks, holding up the sunglasses. Ethan shakes his head. Let's just be us. The words carry more weight than he intended, and something shifts in Lucas's expression, a softening around the eyes, a slight parting of lips. Lucas inserts the required bills into the slot, and a mechanical voice announces, "For photos. Prepare for the first flash in 5, 4, 3. They sit up straight, smiling somewhat awkwardly as the countdown continues. This is familiar territory, two friends taking a photo together, nothing more. But when the first flash illuminates the small space, something changes. Perhaps it's the way the harsh light throws shadows across Lucas's face, highlighting the curve of his jaw and the depth of his eyes. Or maybe it's how, in that split second of artificial daylight, Ethan sees Lucas not as the confident photographer everyone knows, but as someone containing the same uncertainties and hopes that he himself harbors. The photo captures them in a moment of genuine laughter, not posed but real. Lucas has turned slightly toward Ethan, his smile reaching his eyes in a way that transforms his entire face. Ethan looks more relaxed than he has all evening, one hand slightly raised as if he was about to gesture to emphasize whatever point he was making. The chemistry between them is palpable even in this frozen moment. Two people completely at ease in each other's presence, sharing some private joke the camera can't quite capture. As the booth resets for the second photo, Lucas says, "You know, I've always wondered why you don't show more of your art. Your sketches are incredible." The question catches Ethan off guard. "I guess I'm afraid they're not good enough. That I'm not good enough." The confession slips out before he can stop it, perhaps because the semi-darkness of the booth makes vulnerability feel safer. "Not good enough?" Lucas sounds genuinely surprised. "Ethan, you see things in a way no one else does. That sketch you did of the old man feeding pigeons in the park? I've taken 1,000 photos and never captured that kind of emotion. It's different with drawing," Ethan explains, warming to the subject despite his usual reticence. "I can take my time, make adjustments. Your photography, it's about capturing the perfect moment in real time. That takes real courage." Lucas is quiet for a moment, and when he speaks, his voice has a different quality to it, more hesitant, more raw. "Can I tell you something I've never told anyone else?" He doesn't wait for an answer. "Half the reason I got into photography was because of my dad. He always wanted me to play football, do normal guy things. Photography was my compromise, still using my hands, still requiring technical skill, but letting me see beauty in my own way." Have you ever shown him your real work? Not the landscapes and sports shots, but the portraits? The ones that actually mean something to you? Ethan asks, genuinely curious. Lucas shakes his head. "My family, they have a very specific idea of who I am, who I should be." The implication hangs in the air between them, unspoken but understood. The countdown for the second photo begins. 5, 4, 3. This time, they aren't smiling for the camera. They're looking at each other, caught in a moment of shared vulnerability. The flash captures them in profile, Lucas leaning slightly forward, his expression open and unguarded. Ethan listening intently, his usual reserve melted away. There's an intimacy to this photo that the first one lacked, a depth of connection that transcends their usual friendly banter. As the light fades, neither moves away. If anything, they seem to have shifted closer, the space between them charged with unspoken possibilities. "You know," Lucas says, his voice barely above a whisper, "sometimes I think you're the only person who sees the real me." "I could say the same about you," Ethan replies, surprised by his own honesty. "Everyone else sees the quiet artist. You see past that." Lucas reaches for the "Kiss Me" sign from the prop basket, holding it up with a playful smile that doesn't quite mask the question in his eyes. "What do you think?" Too forward. Ethan's heart races, but he matches Lucas's light tone. "Depends on who you're asking." He takes the sign, their fingers brushing in the process, and the contact sends a current of electricity up his arm. "And if I were asking you?" Lucas challenges, his voice dropping lower, the playfulness giving way to something more serious. The countdown for the third photo interrupts. 5, 4, 3. In a moment of impulse or courage. Later, Neither will be sure which. Lucas leans closer, his face mere inches from Ethan's. The sign is forgotten, dropped to the floor of the booth. Ethan doesn't pull away. Instead, he finds himself drawn forward as if by some magnetic force. They're so close that Ethan can feel Lucas's breath against his lips, can see the flecks of gold in his brown eyes. The flash captures them in this suspended moment, almost touching but not quite, the tension between them visible in the slight part of Lucas's lips, in the way Ethan's hand has moved to rest lightly on Lucas's knee. It's a photo of possibility, of the exquisite moment before a leap of faith. As the booth dims again, neither moves. The sounds of the carnival, the distant music, the calls of game vendors, the laughter of passers-by, seem to fade away, leaving only the sound of their breathing and the hammering of their hearts. Ethan, Lucas begins, his voice uncharacteristically uncertain. I've wanted to tell you something for a long time, but I've been afraid of ruining what we have. Ethan swallows hard, knowing they've reached a turning point. Whatever happens next will change everything. You can tell me anything, he says, and means it. I think I'm falling in love with you. Lucas says, the words rushing out like he's afraid he'll lose his nerve if he slows down. Actually, that's not right. I know I am. I have been for months. And if you don't feel the same way, that's okay. We can pretend this never happened and go back to being friends. But I couldn't keep pretending that my feelings for you are just friendship. The confession hangs in the air between them, altering the atmosphere of the small booth. Ethan feels a complex mix of emotions. Elation that Lucas returns his feelings, fear of the unknown territory they're entering, and a deep sense of rightness that has been missing from his life for too long. Say something. Lucas pleads when the silence stretches too long. Even if it's that you need time to think. I don't need time, Ethan says finally, his voice steady despite the trembling of his hands. I've thought about this, about us, more than I've ever admitted to myself. I've sketched your face so many times I could draw it with my eyes closed. That's not something you do for just a friend. The relief on Lucas's face is palpable, his smile breaking through like sunshine after rain. So what are you saying exactly? He asks, needing the clarity of words. I'm saying I feel the same way, Ethan answers, and it feels like the most honest thing he's ever said. I'm saying I want to see where this goes. The countdown for the fourth and final photo begins. 5, 4, 3. This time, there's no hesitation. Lucas cups Ethan's face with one hand, and Ethan leans into the touch. When their lips meet, it feels like coming home to a place neither knew they were searching for. The kiss is gentle at first, a question and an answer rolled into one. Then Ethan's hand finds its way to Lucas's waist, pulling him closer, and the kiss deepens, becoming a conversation they've been waiting to have for months. The flash captures them in this moment of perfect clarity, two people finding each other after a long journey of uncertainty. In the photo, Lucas's hand is tangled in Ethan's hair, and Ethan's eyes are closed, his expression one of complete surrender to the moment. It's an image of discovery, of a secret revealed and embraced. When they finally pull apart, both are slightly breathless. Lucas rests his forehead against Ethan's, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. So that happened, he says softly. It did, Ethan confirms, his own smile mirroring Lucas's. And I'd like it to happen again. The mechanical voice announces, your photos will be printed shortly. Please collect them from the exterior slot. Reality begins to seep back in. Outside the booth, their friends are waiting. The carnival continues its noisy, colorful existence. The world hasn't stopped, even though it feels like it should have to mark this moment of transformation. What do we tell them? Ethan asks, suddenly aware of the practical implications of what just happened. Lucas considers this, his thumb tracing small circles on the back of Ethan's hand. What do you want to tell them? It's a loaded question. Coming out isn't just about self-acceptance. It's about navigating how the world sees you, how relationships might change, how family might react. Ethan thinks about his own parents, supportive but traditional, and Lucas's family situation, which is more complicated. Maybe, for now, this can be just for us, Ethan suggests carefully. Not because I'm ashamed or want to hide, but because I want to figure out what we are to each other before we have to explain it to everyone else. Lucas nods, understanding the complexity of the situation. Our secret, then, for now. He squeezes Ethan's hand. But Ethan, I don't want to hide forever. You're not something I'm ashamed of. Neither do I, Ethan agrees. Just until we're ready. Until we know what this is. They exit the photo booth to the curious looks of their friends. Maya immediately reaches for the printed photo strip as it emerges from the slot. Let me see what you two got up to in there, she says with a teasing lilt to her voice. Lucas smoothly intercepts the photos before she can grab them. Sorry, these are going in my private collection, he says with a wink that makes it seem like a joke. Photographer's prerogative. No fair. Riley protests. We showed you our embarrassing ones. Tell you what, Ethan interjects, finding a confidence he didn't know he possessed. Next time we'll do a group shot, and you can have those. As the group moves on to the next attraction, Ethan and Lucas fall slightly behind. Lucas discreetly slips the photo strip into Ethan's hand. Keep these safe, he whispers. They're the beginning of our story. Ethan tucks the photos into his pocket, the weight of them against his chest a tangible reminder that what happened in the booth was real. As they follow their friends toward the Ferris wheel, their hands brush against each other, not quite holding, but promising more contact to come. The secret between them feels not like a burden, but like a treasure they're protecting until the right moment to share it with the world. The carnival continues around them, oblivious to the fact that in a small, somewhat shabby photo booth, two lives have just changed course. For flashes of light have illuminated not just their faces, but the possibility of a future together. A future that began with the courage to speak truths long held silent and the willingness to leap into the unknown together. As they reach the Ferris wheel, Lucas catches Ethan's eye and smiles, a private smile meant only for him. And Ethan knows with sudden clarity that whatever challenges lie ahead, they'll face them together. Because some secrets aren't meant to be kept forever, only until the right moment to let them transform from whispered confessions into lived truth. The wheel turns, lifting them toward the star-scattered sky, and below them, the photo booth stands as an unassuming witness to the beginning of their journey. 4 flashes of light that revealed what had been there all along, waiting only for the courage to be seen. Years later, when asked about how they fell in love, they'll share different versions of the story depending on who's asking. But between themselves, they'll always remember the truth, that it took the confined space of a photo booth for flashes of light and the bravery to speak their hearts to find their way to each other. And the photo strip, kept safe in a special box along with other treasured mementos, will remain a private reminder of the night they stopped being just friends and started becoming something more. The night they shared a secret that was too beautiful to keep hidden forever. Total _char_count. 18,772.